Every day, America Online is making it easy for people to live, work, and play.
When we installed internet access on our computer, I got the whole family involved.
And you play music too.
Just what is this main artery of the information superhighway?
Stop, you beautiful bastard!
No matter how large, no matter how small, we'll be on the internet in the year 2000. It's the primary way that people will look at information.
Shut up!
When we were there.
Hello and welcome to When We Were There, a biased internet history. My name is Thomas.
And I'm Josh, and this is a podcast all about the history of internet content, the who's, the what's, the where's Waldos. We're going to get into it all.
Whether you like it or not.
We got a spicy interview today. So just to give a little backstory, about 2 weeks ago, me and Thomas were at the new Studio 54 with Nyan Cat and Charlie Bit My Finger doing caterpillar rails of cocaine. And Charlie Bit My Finger said, you know who you should get in the pod? You know who's a pretty ace group of guys? That frickin' Blame Society, that Chad Vader shit. And I said, we'll never get them,
They're
Mr.
too big.
Charlie.
They would never say yes to us, Charlie.
To a goddamn Frenchman and a Spanish Jew, it's not going to happen. So
We kind of just like hung our heads in shame, all right? And I was ready to go home.
Yeah,
I
remember. And then after Nyan Cat overdosed, we're like, you know what? For Nyan Cat, we should try.
Yeah.
And somehow we fucking got him. Aaron Yonda, the man behind Blame Society and Chad Vader. How's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
I mean, aside from Nyan Cat dying, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I
service
mean,
was
that's
lovely.
That's rough. You know, I feel like the drugs probably influenced your decision to contact me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was blasted out of my gourd when I wrote that email.
Like if you hadn't been on drugs, you probably wouldn't have done it.
We wouldn't have had the confidence.
So, you know, that's good. That's good, everybody. Make sure that you use drugs to give yourself confidence and do things you wouldn't normally do.
Drugs are essential in the world of podcasting.
I like this message. This is a great start to the podcast. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on. So, you know, usually what we say is, you know, some idiot who's listening to this goddamn podcast and they say, Aaron Yonda? Who's that? Who are you?
Well, I'm, I guess, for want of a better term, a YouTuber who's been around since 2006, just like a year after YouTube formed. And that's where my career took off, was on YouTube. Can you believe that? Someone's career taking off on YouTube? It's not really a thing that happens much anymore, but it was back then.
Yeah,
I guess that's true. We kind of like
yeah, drifted to other platforms.
Well, we also, I feel like we did a cycle, like at first having someone's like career launch from YouTube would be crazy, not really happen. And then it seemed like it happened to everyone. And now I guess it doesn't happen anymore.
No.
Not much, no.
I suppose you would have been one of the first people to have that actually really take off for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like we were on the front page when they did that several times. Several. And Chad Vader, The Life and Death of a Pumpkin, my short film, was up there, and a couple other things as well. But yeah, it was cool.
Well, I think to the kiddos, the Zoomers that are listening to this, who are like, well, like YouTube's been around forever. They might not know that you're actually a pre-YouTube guy too. You started, was it Channel 101 you started on?
Yeah, we made videos for Channel 101. We were the first out of Los Angeles team to actually get into Channel 101, which was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
And we were doing stuff back when Lonely Island was making stuff for Channel 101, so that was cool.
Like way back. See, that's the thing I actually wanted to ask you about. I know. So for people who don't know, Channel 101 it's a site, a platform that's created by Dan Harmon, correct?
Yeah, Dan Harmon and Rob Schraub.
Who's now mostly known for, I guess, Rick and Morty and Community. Hopefully,
yeah.
Community is better in my opinion. Come at me, fanboys. But
the inception of Rick and Morty was also on Channel 101 with Doc and Marty, and I guess
Justin Roiland's show.
Yeah, you also had House of Cosby. I guess that
Yep.
would have been around your time. Yeah.
But I guess so. I've like gone on the site a couple of times. I remember reading about Dan Harmon's story circle on his site. That's like how I first saw it. But I don't know actually much about Channel 101. I was wondering if you'd be able to like give a little description of what it was like a pre-YouTube content aggregator.
It was actually, yeah. I think they started in like 2000, 3 or 4, probably 4. And yeah, it was just it was actually just a video site, but it was, you know, they chose what went on it. You would send in your mini DV tape,
Oh, wow.
with your video on it, and they would watch it and decide. I think it was Rob and Dan, and there was probably some other people who judged it, and they would decide what was going to be in the show. And if you were lucky enough to get in, then the audience would vote whether you keep making the series or not. And we were lucky enough to get in. The show took place at a theater in like downtown LA, and there was tons of people there, and it was totally it was like a really early place for people who just wanted to make stuff and who had, like, you know, some level of talent and wanted to make videos and have a good time and, like, you know, do what they were excited about. And that's what Channel 101 was all about, I think.
So kind of like a film festival streaming platform, which is pretty badass.
Yeah.
So, but was the first show like a live show? Like they rented a theater and people came and watched the content and then voted, and then you guys started producing for online afterwards?
Yeah. So it was basically what happened was they would get together and have the event, and they would host it, and there'd be a big crowd, and they would play all the videos, and then the audience would just vote for the top 5 returning shows, and then if yours didn't get chosen, you could just submit another pilot, and it was like a monthly thing, and it was always at the same place. They still do the Channel 101, and
Really?
people still do it. It still exists.
Gosh, we gotta submit today. We gotta go buy some mini DV tapes.
We gotta make that next.
They still use those, right?
I would
assume so. Actually, if
Yeah.
you did that, if you sent one on a mini DV tape, you'd probably get in automatically.
That'd be so
I still have a
have-
bunch of mini DV tapes.
I just don't have the camera anymore. Honestly, I don't even know what happened to it.
So to Zoomers who are listening to this, film used to be, if not on celluloid, it was put on a magnetic strip of tape, and it was interlaced together, kind of like a fucking zigzag. And I'm getting into this too much.
You're such like a condescending dickhead.
Oh, man.
Like, you think they don't know what a VHS is?
I don't think they know what a mini DV is.
So you say it's like a mini VHS tape.
Okay, it's a mini VHS tape. Sorry.
I remember back in the days when I had to fret about whether something should be de-interlaced.
Yeah.
Should we make it progressive?
It's actually funny. This is a bit of a tangent, but last night I was showing my girlfriend some of my old YouTube videos I made when I was 14, and she was like, what's with these lines? Why is it so, like, what are these? And I was like, oh, that's because it's interlaced. We shot it on, like, a terrible camera. It was, like, over 10 years ago when we were 14. Give us a break.
So you can see why some people might not know. In a 60th of a second, lines go across the stream for half of the frame, and then another set goes in the other 60th of a second, which gives the illusion of moving pictures.
And I never really even understood that back, and I did it. I used that. So
I mean,
Its original tube TVs had a light in it that shot out at a corner of the screen. It would scan across the whole screen, and as it went, it would either be completely bright or completely dark, and that is what gave the illusion of video.
But the issue was that, wasn't it, the frame rate of 30 frames was too high? All I know is that what ended up happening is the light started fading before it reached the bottom if they did progressive scanning, so they had to do interlay scanning to make the scan faster, correct?
Yes, because it was done, each was at a 1/60th, 60 hertz, I believe.
Yeah.
This is now a tech podcast.
Yeah.
to be fair, like, you guys were kind of turning me on, so thank you.
Oh, okay. Are you a little chubbed?
I'm a little bit chubbed, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
That's
okay,
good.
I'm going to roll with that. So
Yeah.
I think something that it seems that you guys fell into, and a lot of other creators, I know Film Cow did as well, was someone started uploading your videos from Channel 101 to YouTube,
Yes.
claiming to be the creator.
Yeah, and I don't even know if they really claimed to be the creator when they uploaded Chad Vader, but we saw that they did, and they were getting a bunch of views, so we were like, oh man, okay, we better upload stuff to YouTube. And, you know, there's always this, like, initial resistance to doing anything, and so we hadn't uploaded anything to YouTube yet. and so we did, and then Chad Vader got featured on the front of YouTube. Next thing you know, it's racking up 1 million views. I'm at my day job thinking like, I think I'm just about done with this job. I don't think I'm going to have to do this much longer. I thought that actually earlier when we got an agent in 2005, because we actually submitted my public access TV show. Matt and I made a public, or he worked on my public access TV show that I had.
So yeah, that's another thing is Blame Society started in the 90s as a public access show.
Yeah. Way back in like 1993.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So was it similar, a sketch show as well?
It was a very sketch show. It was very absurd, very strange. Just me and my friend Benson acting like lunatics, basically. And then it got better and better as it went, and we honed our skills to the point where we actually sent, did we send an SVHS tape or a VHS? I can't remember, but we sent a tape overseas to England to the BBC and as a sample of what we'd done, and someone actually got back to us and said,
Damn.
"This is really good, but we don't have room for a show like this in our thing right now." And we were like, "But you considered it for a second?"
That's amazing in
Holy
itself.
shit! And we just like our minds were blown, and so
You guys were just waiting for Adult Swim. It seems like.
yeah, exactly. This stuff that especially that we made early on, would have been perfect for Adult Swim. It was
even we're like
weird.
some of the Hal Thompson stuff feels very Adult Swim.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is crazy that before any sort of social media or video sharing platforms, that's what you had to do. Like if you want to make a show, seems like this is probably going to be a lot of people's story, but Michael Buckley from What the Buck also started with a public access show later, but it seems like kind of a good route to go. You get to use a studio. I'm sure you probably learned a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was my education, definitely.
I'm curious though. So was Channel 101 the first place you uploaded, and was it like, because it seems like that was almost like a pretty good combination of traditional and new age like media, in the sense that they had like a physical film festival where there was a screening, but then it ended up you were produced stuff online. Was that the first place you guys went to, or were you uploading to other places before?
No, it was basically the first place that we were doing anything regular with. Before Benson left Blame Society in 2001, and then Matt came on board. But in 2000, the internet video was like going to be this huge thing, right? Everybody was like, internet video, it's where things are at, and people were just pouring money into it left and right all over the place.
Dancing Baby, right? So.
Yeah, and there was this like traveling van that came to our town from this
The Bang
company
Bus.
called that was when they started, but that was just coincidence. This thing was called Anteye, Anteye.
Okay.
And they just had tons of money, and they just went around basically trying to find like the weirdest videos they could. They didn't even like try to find stuff that they were, probably thinking that would develop into anything. They were just like, we've got all this money, let's go around and give it to people who make really weird videos. And so we actually there was a video uploading site called Anteye.com, and we had like the #1 video on there with this weird video that we did a parody of This Old House, but we dubbed the words ass, ham, and snack over ourselves selectively. And it was just really surreal.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was really strange. But so we were online, like when internet video was even possible and you could barely watch it or download it, we were on that site.
You guys were on the frontier.
Real OGs.
Real OGs. Oh, yeah.
Damn.
That's so funny that it's like a van like going around being like, get on the internet, guys. It's the future.
Well, like I have this theory that all technology is brought on by either war or pornography. Some sort of sex work or war. And I feel like if it weren't for the Bang Bus, you might not be here today.
Yeah.
The Bang Bus coming and picking him up? You're talking
No,
about?
I mean the Bang Bus giving the guys the idea to, instead of go around and pretend to fuck strangers, go around and make people's dreams come true.
Like
pretend to make
different way.
people's dreams come true.
Yeah. That's a nugget of information right there. That makes me feel like a bad fake internet historian right there, that I should have known about that.
So wait, do you
that's
know
true.
the actual history of Bang Bus?
No.
No, we don't actually know anything.
Well,
No,
why,
it's-
That's why it's biased.
Yeah, why haven't you gotten those guys on the show?
if we could get the Bang Bus guys on, it's almost a little bit too depraved for our audience, but maybe not.
Well, the
I
thing
think it's
is,
not.
yeah, I mean, you don't have to be depraved during the interview.
I want to get Asa Akira.
Yeah, we want to get
Asa.
Asa Akira on the show. That would be like old school history, like probably one of the original internet porn stars.
It's like the super famous one, at least for us. I don't know.
Yeah,
Who would you say was like the most OG internet porn star? I know I just saw on Reddit actually yesterday, one of the first cam girls was having an AMA, and I was like, shit, we should get her on the pod. No, seriously. I think her name was like Sunny something, and I was like reading about it. It's all this stuff I had no idea about. Like,
Sunny Leone, or not that I would know, Laura, but yeah, Sunny Leone, was that it?
I don't think so.
Anyway, so
I feel like if you had the Bang Bus guys on, you would immediately find success. I mean, there's no way that's not getting shared.
It worked for Jake and Amir.
There you go. So would you say that Chad Vader was the first thing that found, I guess, commercial success on the internet?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
So I gotta ask, with a show like this, how did you guys come up with the idea to shoot in a grocery store? Like, did you have access to the grocery store? I know you had access through the death video that you guys did.
Yeah.
Did you just kind of go in and say, hey, can we shoot here?
That's exactly what we did. That's exactly.
And they were just super cool about it?
They were. It's Madison. It was the Willie Street. Was the Willie Street Co-op, and they are just like super, accessible and awesome. And yeah, they had ideas. They wanted to help. They were super supportive. But like being in Wisconsin, we had this weird advantage where like we could go. One of the things we made for Channel 101 was called McCourt's in Session. And it's like a sass talking judge who has weird people that he, does trials for. And we went to a courthouse in a town called Monroe, Wisconsin. Somehow got in touch with them. And the guy took us into the courthouse on the weekend. There's nobody there. And he said, okay, well, it was this giant old courtroom, like huge paintings on the wall, like really old, like 100-year-old courtroom in the middle of this town. And he was like, okay, well, here you go. Just give me a call if you need anything. And he just left.
That's insane. What?
So I think why that's crazy to us is two things. One, we're film school babies. That's how we met. Mm-hmm. But number two, we live in Vancouver. And for people who don't listening, Vancouver is where almost every movie is shot because tax credits. So if we just wanted, we had a movie idea that we wanted to do, just a short, maybe take a couple days, and we wanted to shoot my old high school. And that's where Riverdale is shot. So it would be $3,000 a day just to use a couple of the rooms. Like everywhere in Vancouver is like, you can shoot here, but what are you paying us?
Yeah.
So
it's just such demand for it. I don't know. Like, I feel like it would be like, I think you guys show up with cameras and lights and shit. And they're like, Hollywood's here.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of that was partially what it was. And, they hadn't had that many experience with people wanting to shoot stuff, and they probably weren't worried about it. What happens is if people let someone do something like that and they like break stuff and like get in trouble, then they'll never do it again or they'll charge you or whatever. But
yeah, exactly.
If you're a filmmaker and you're out there making stuff at places and they're nice to you, and don't trash the set because they'll never let anyone do it again. But Willie Street Co-op, we just paid an employee to be there at night when we were shooting, and it was not expensive at all. It was just it was a bare minimum.
We got to move to Wisconsin,
it was expensive for us,
bro.
I guess so. But that kind of leads to another question. So like going back and watching Chad Vader again, Josh and I were both surprised by how high the production value was. Like especially for at the time, we were like, this is crazy.
There's stuff like I'll go back and watch and be like, oh, I remember this being much better production value, but I guess it was 2006. Whereas I think it's the opposite with you guys. Like, whoa, I didn't remember it looking and sounding and being this good.
Yeah, we had some roots in the film community in Madison, and so we knew a lot of people who had equipment, and they were excited to be a part of this, and we really wanted it to look good and to be, if it's going to be like sort of a Darth Vader-y type of character and stuff like that, we didn't want it to look chintzy, and we were just used to kind of making stuff look or be sort of high budget at that time,
which was very rare.
It was kind of rare for YouTube because YouTube was all about low budget authenticity or whatever. But we just wanted to go for it, and we had no money. We just thought, well, let's take a risk here because this could do something, and it did. The most expensive part about it was the suit, which cost like $600, I think.
That's still not terrible. It looks
wasn't
like a pretty
terrible.
high quality suit.
Yeah, I don't think
I was
we-
gonna ask
I don't
where
think
you
it was
guys
that
got
much.
that.
That was you can get it online still. It's Ruby's Vader suit. I believe it's like the company who makes it or something.
And that was you that had to live in that thing, hey?
Oh God, yes. Mhm. You can find
Yeah, I
me
was gonna-
copiously complaining about it all the years I had to do it.
Yeah, I bet. Just like dying of sweat, huh?
Until towards the end, I finally realized that I could just like, there's lots of parts of the suit that you can't see.
Yeah.
So I just took a
Yeah.
scissors and like cut them out. And then there was all kinds of places where air could escape. And I had a
Yeah.
vest that had ice packs in it
Nice.
underneath. And I actually was like, it got a little bit more comfortable.
I feel like that's a skill you can put on a resume. Like very good at wearing a Vader suit.
Yeah.
I
But I would never want that job though. It's
yeah. Okay. Fair
it's
enough.
rough.
I do have to ask. So when coming up with this idea, I just wondered, did you kind of have this idea in mind? It's like, oh, we just happen to have a grocery store and Matt happens to have an excellent Darth Vader impression. Or was it like, okay, we have access to a grocery store. Matt can do this great Darth Vader impression. How do we merge these?
We had no idea that Matt could do a Vader impression. We knew we could probably shoot in the grocery store, but we weren't sure how it would work and how that would go, and we were very unsure about the whole Chad Vader idea in the first place. Because the original idea on paper was just kind of it's Darth Vader and he, goes around killing employees at a convenience store, and but we decided that if we tweaked the idea, that we could probably make it work. And actually, but both of us were not, we were like, I don't know if we should make it. But luckily, my girlfriend, Courtney, convinced, she was like, no, I think you should make it. I think you gotten good feedback on it. I think you should make it. And I was just like, okay. And we'd gotten good feedback when we pitched the idea in New York to like NBC, who was starting a digital department, and CBS and a bunch of other places, probably Comedy Central. But they were all worried about rights.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask about is like, because like, did you guys have parody law in mind as being a thing, or were you again just sort of winging it?
Yeah,
like,
we didn't really know. We didn't know anything. We didn't care. We were just like, let's just do this because we don't have anything to lose, really. Like we'd gone and done this New York Television Festival, gotten an agent, and then not much was happening. We were like, we kept asking our agent, like, what do we do? What's happening? I don't, because you don't really, if you don't work in the entertainment industry and you just come into it fresh, you don't know what the hell's happening. You don't know what you're supposed to do. And, we were just like, well, I don't get it. What's going on? So we were just like, let's just make it ourselves. Why are we waiting for something to happen? Let's just make it and see what happens. Like, what do we got to lose? So we did that. And not only did George Lucas not shut us down, he gave us the 2007 Fan Film Award, awarded personally by him.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
I'm sure you still have it, but who gets to keep it? Do you guys like have like a timeshare thing? It's like a divorce.
Oh shit.
Oh, he's gonna go get it right
We're
now.
we're gonna see some history here, ladies and gents.
This is why you gotta pay for the
Patreon.
Patreon.
Oh, that's badass.
Look at that award.
That's something you can only see if you pay minimum $5 for our Patreon.
I think it's 10
No, it's
to get the video.
it's-
Is it
it's
5? Okay, we gotta make it 15.
we got to raise the price now with
gotta
this
bump-
goddamn history.
Yeah,
Damn.
that's very cool though.
I mean,
Yeah, so,
does that do a lot to the ego when you're like, oh, my show was approved by the guy who invented fucking Darth Vader?
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely made us feel confident that we were, doing something right. And
Had you monetized by this point? Were you allowed to monetize after?
monetization wasn't even a word.
Yeah, jeez.
Fair enough, I guess.
It
so.
was 2008. I think the beginning of 2008. We were just wrapping up season 1, and episode 8 of Chad Vader was the first video that we got monetized on YouTube. We were like, I don't know if I can officially say the first, but almost the
You're
first.
definitely the first round of YouTube partners.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, because I know Josh and I sort of consider that like, at least I know I consider like 2007 to 9-ish as sort of being the golden era, with like 2008 being like what I think of the golden era of YouTube, for there's like the most tight-knit community, the most like I felt creative content being produced, and it felt like this new exciting thing. But that like before era, like 2006, I would call the bronze era, and I feel like you guys were like bronze era celebrities, which is crazy because that's like before there was even really a place, like a community or anything. You guys were already there and big on it. Do you feel like once that community arose, do you guys feel a part of that? Or did you feel separate to it? Or like, how was that? What was it like being there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like we were a part of it. We did some collaborations with people.
Barely Political, you guys did a video with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we even had contact with the David After Dentist's dad.
Oh,
yeah, because
wow,
you did
really?
the
when
parody.
we did that parody. Yeah. And
Well, and I know you did the Tezonde parody as well, and
Yep.
Rebecca Black a bit later.
Yep, we did a bunch of parodies with Chad because it was just, it was something that went over well and people seemed to like it a lot. So
I feel like it also kind of makes sense. Like your parody character is doing parodies of other stuff.
yeah.
In a way,
And he was becoming his own internet celebrity, and like just sort of like doing,
it was kind of the Austin Powers effect, where like it started as sort of a James Bond parody and then became its own thing.
Yeah, exactly. I really believe in that because the original idea of just taking Darth Vader and doing anything with him that's not, what his character was designed for is obviously not a difficult idea. Pretty much anyone could probably think of it. But I feel like what we did is we endowed our show with a lot of different characters and turned it into its own thing. So it wasn't Darth Vader in a grocery store anymore. It was just an ensemble, office style show where
it was literally Chad Vader. Yeah. Like he became a new character.
He was a new character.
Well, that's the brilliance of it. It's like it's in a way it's simple, but it's also like super cool because it's just the idea of Darth Vader having like a loser younger brother who works at a grocery store. Like in the wrong hands, that could be like a one-off sketch. Okay,
right,
we did the sketch. That's the thing. But I think you guys built a whole bunch of other characters around it that really kind of made it like, and I think a mixture between that and having good writing and good production quality and the fact that Matt has a good enough Darth Vader voice that he's doing video games to this day.
That also, again, just blew me away going back and watching the video again. I was like, holy shit, sounds just like him.
Yeah, he does the voice for a lot of the different Star Wars TV show Vaders as well, like the animated shows and stuff.
It's crazy. You guys ever meet James Earl Jones?
No.
Or as we like to call him, Jimmy Jones.
our close and personal friend, Jimmy Jones.
Yeah. You ever like get a nice little cheeky brunch with him?
Oh, I would love to have a cheeky brunch with him. That would be awesome.
We'll set something.
He probably hates you guys. You're taking roles away from him.
Oh no, he doesn't care. He's
really clamoring for the cash. I guess.
I don't think he needs it. And when he does Vader, it's like he wants like a massive sum of money. So I'm sure he's like, doesn't care at all.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
Okay, like gun to your head, would you rather there be no Mufasa or no Darth Vader?
Oh, no Mufasa.
Yeah, 100%. What are you talking about, Thomas?
Yeah.
Fuck off with
Is that even
shit.
a question?
What? Mufasa's so cool.
No one's
though.
watching
He's, like, so wise.
Mufasa's brother in a goddamn grocery store.
Chad Fasa.
Yeah. That's the next idea, man.
So this is like a very hard-hitting question. I think it needs to be asked. Have you ever, to completion, achieved a hands-free ejac?
No hands, no apparatuses, just your brain.
And maybe some Kegels.
No.
You got to work on that.
How do you do it?
So what it is you got to wait like a week.
Okay.
You got to be 19 as
fully
well.
tented, young 19-year-old. And you just
brimming with hormones.
And you just got to squeeze.
Really?
Yeah.
Or like That's mental squeeze.
A thing?
I've achieved it once. Thomas is trying. He tries every morning.
I'm working on it, yeah.
Wow.
That's why I was like a little out of sorts this morning as I was still like putting myself back together.
We ask every guest.
Hadn't achieved it.
One person might have, but we're wait.
Who said they might have
Cam
again?
Jones from the Goal Guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you said maybe. I feel like didn't.
But
Vinny
like
say
with
maybe
no one
as
else
well?
around, no one else involved, just sitting there by yourself.
Your brain.
Yeah.
Sort of how Chad would probably do it.
Using the Force.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
If you could use the Force, you could totally do that.
Yeah.
Would that be cheating though?
That's true.
Yeah, I think so. It's all about squeezing.
I think it's like just pure like willpower.
It's pure luck
you know?
too, you know? It's
I'm trying to imagine that working and I can't.
if you ever do achieve it, just on a stream, just the Friend Styles boys told me to do this. Shout out Josh and Thomas.
Yeah, I'll definitely credit you guys for
Okay,
sure.
thank you. I would appreciate that.
Or even if you don't like make it a public credit, just let us know, just so we know. Because like
I will. I'll tweet. I'll hashtag you.
Okay, I like that.
we're trying to make it like the next wave, you know, like a new TikTok trend.
Well, that's what we got to do.
Hands-free e-jacking. I guess we gotta have a whole promotional campaign of hands-free e-jacking. That's like a real idea that's forming in my brain right
Anyway,
now.
we'll get back to that. But what I did want to ask is, because I know some local guys here in Vancouver recently did a series called Buckets, and it was kind of a show just about like stormtroopers day to day. And I know that Disney, now that Disney has acquired LucasArts, they're allowed to do it unless they make money. So when you guys started monetizing Chad Vader, was that before Disney acquired it and you guys were protected under parody law?
It was before Disney acquired it, and really the only reason, and we found this out when we went out to the Presidio in San Francisco, you know, the LucasArts, one of the LucasArts centers, and to talk to some of the higher-ups there. We went out with our agent and to sort of like talk about what we wanted to do with Chad Vader, and I think I don't know exactly what they wanted us to do with it or why they had us there. I've never really determined that. I don't know if they wanted us to do something for them, but they told us straight up, there are more people here that don't want to shut you down than do want to shut you down.
Nice.
And I think George Lucas obviously was the big one, probably, because I think he obviously had the foresight to sort of see that the internet was going to carry Star Wars forward and keep it popular and whatever. And so I think he was the big one. But I think he encouraged, like, you know, Lucasfilm not to shut down all these Star Wars fan films.
I guess especially
and
if
stuff.
it's good. You know, they're like,
I think that probably helped. But I don't think they do a lot of shutting stuff down, unless it's like overtly like sexual and involves Star Wars. I don't think they do a lot of shutting people down. But yeah, if you start making money from it, they get a little bit iffy. They told us, like, can you guys stop, like, you know, selling so many T-shirts and like doing merchandise? And we were like, yeah, but
people want it.
Yeah, they want it, and like we kind of have to make money if we're going to keep doing this. YouTube monetization in 2008 was like nothing. It was like a fun idea, but you didn't really make much from it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if someone put a gun to George Lucas's head and he said, okay, either Chad Vader can exist or Rise of Skywalker, I think he'd probably say you guys.
Yeah, I would like to think that too.
I definitely know he was very not stoked about that film, as many people weren't. I was pissed.
Yeah,
I didn't even.
You don't even want to get me started on that. Oh God,
that could be a whole other podcast.
This is something I just kind of thought about. But so Red Letter Media, you're from Wisconsin as well, right?
Yes.
They're
from Milwaukee. We're from Madison.
Right. Okay. But I just realized, because they got big off of their like prequel reviews.
Oh yeah,
of the prequel trilogy, which in turn also I think inspired a lot more attention to the prequels and
movie reviews
brought
in
them
general.
back into the zeitgeist. Well,
Video
they
essays.
created the format of the movie review essay. But I just think it's more kind of funny that both you guys are from a similar area and both have like your big thing being like a Star Wars thing. It's kind of, I don't know, just a fun coincidence.
Yeah, they actually reference Chad Vader on still a regular basis. Usually not in a great way. They don't.
Oh yikes!
Yeah, they don't. They use it as an example of like the fish out of water, you know, idea that and they don't have a whole lot of respect for it, I don't think. But
Okay,
the last
so
time they mentioned
that
Chad
says,
Vader,
did you ever collab with them? I guess that's
no,
a no.
no. Everybody
We
asks
gotta
us that, and
cross
I'm
that
just like,
off.
I don't think that I really don't think they like Chad Vader at all. I mean, they made a
You guys
parody
aren't,
of it.
like besties, I guess.
No, they made a parody of it that was really savage, like way
jeez.
back. It was super savage, but I think they've mellowed on us a little bit. I don't know if they seem to really dislike Chad Vader, and I don't know what their feelings are about us personally, but
I don't really understand why they would be that way.
yeah,
Like,
they're very critical. They're very critical.
they are very critical. I mean, like,
I think after the sequels, they probably are like, no, these guys are great.
you're like, you know what? We might have been too harsh before.
Someone made Darth Vader's grandson and Palpatine's granddaughter make out in a movie, so I think.
I feel like
slide.
maybe they just like love the original trilogy so much that anything that's not that they just don't like.
We have met people over the years who actually a guy at a convention, Dragon Con, he was dressed like a satyr. He was like shirtless and had like, furry legs.
Of course.
He said that Chad Vader was an abomination.
Jeez, okay. And you got to take it from that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
and I was just like, oh, okay, well, if a satyr's telling me that it's an abomination, yeah, all right,
better
yeah,
pack
okay.
it up. It's done, I guess.
Yep.
I was going to say you're
You guys
doing
had a-
something right.
Yeah, exactly. The
Oh,
the,
yeah,
the
fair
satyr
enough.
crowd
Did
very
you-
displeased.
Did you go to VidCon or any other sort of like
Oh
YouTube?
yeah, we went to VidCon most of the years it existed. Well, it still exists, but I'm the
But
qualifier.
no one cares anymore.
Yeah, it's not like the John and Hank VidCon anymore.
They don't.
It's
they
like
don't
it's,
run it anymore.
right. So, but yeah, we went to most of the VidCons and loved it. Had a great time. Did a lot of stuff with those. And Hank and John have been on Beer and Board Games many times.
Nice.
And
Do you remember? Do you remember me?
No, of course. So Thomas went to the
Probably
first
not.
VidCon.
I went to the first.
I
two.
wasn't at the first two. That's the only two I missed. I heard that you were going to be there, and I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
This
like, I
chump-
hate this kid.
This kid?
Yep.
You know what though? I think I maybe made a mortal enemy of Philip DeFranco. So
We can never have him on the podcast. Aside
Oh, wow.
from the fact that he wouldn't want to do it regardless.
You guys have a feud. That's good though. It's good to have feuds. I always feel like
it keeps you motivated.
yeah, you should have a feud with Phil DeFranco and put out videos and be like, why does Phil DeFranco hate us? And you'll get some views that way.
He told me he was like considering punching me in the face.
Nice.
Yeah, so we should use that. That's a good idea.
We should
That's
use
a claim
that.
to
That's
fame.
really
That's a
good
claim to
point.
fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? That's how we're gonna get Phil on the pod. Is we're like, Phil, come defend yourself in the podcast. Why do you hate me?
Do you
We'll
still
make
want
so
to
much
punch
noise.
me?
Yeah. And then if he says yes, we got 10 videos out of that. Easy street.
If he says yes, then we fly to LA and he can punch me, but
He's got to do it on
we're
camera.
We're gonna be so famous.
Give him
So
give
it's
him that
worth it.
opportunity, definitely.
Yeah, and then when you get punched in the face, be like, ow, Aaron Yonda says you should have done this. And then we get a double shout out there in one fucking video.
Yeah.
You shouted us out and friggin' Phil.
Did you go to any of the earlier ones though, like before VidCon, like YouTube Live or 777 or anything?
We went to something in Boston. Ugh, man, what was it even called? Holy shit, I don't even remember the name now.
What's it, 888?
No, it was like something con, like pop con. Oh man, I cannot remember.
Popcorn.
Popcorn. It was
It's-
popcorn.
It's like a type of food, I think.
It's a snack, Tom.
Yeah, like pretty much a lot of those early cons we went to. Yeah, I don't to the point where I don't even remember what they're all called. But yeah,
Yeah, I think it must be like a pretty surreal thing, kind of having an idea blow up pretty fucking quick, and then all of a sudden you're this new thing that is an internet celebrity. I mean, it must be crazy.
nobody really knows what it is, and yeah,
But you
don't
have all
know,
these
like-
fans all of a sudden.
Yeah.
George Lucas is giving you a handy J backstage. You're living the fucking cream here.
You're living the goddamn cream.
So,
Yeah.
we were talking a little bit. It might have been on the podcast or it might have been the pre-interview. I don't know. I've been drinking heavily, but I do want to ask, as we were saying before, with sketch comedy not really even being a thing on YouTube anymore, it's more essays and Let's Plays. Would you ever want to, maybe even in TikTok, bring back the Chad Vader character? Or is it like, that's a chapter of our life that we did, but isn't really something that we want to do anymore?
Well, maybe. It just depends on what the circumstances are. Obviously,
Depends on who's wearing the suit.
Yeah, and who we could get to wear the suit that isn't me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you couldn't do it on YouTube because you have to make videos that are like 10 minutes, at least 8 minutes, I think,
10
to
minutes
actually
for the algorithm,
get any traction. Yeah. And I don't even know if Let's Plays are even that big anymore, honestly. Like, because my other channel, Game Society Pimps, we still make Let's Plays, and I get the sense that they're an outdated form of
maybe I'm just old. Maybe it's just all vlog. Yeah, Jesus.
I think it's
all vlogs. And
it's like live streaming, and yeah, I don't even know. I kind of don't care
it's
because like I've just we've got our patrons who support us, and we just make what we want to make. So.
And that's a great position to be in.
That's the real.
That's what we're working towards.
That's the way to do it, man. It's the best.
So one last thing I'll ask about Chad Vader before getting into some of your newer content. Did you take some? Because I guess seeing old set photos. Did you take some of the actors that you've worked with either in any sort of improv or the original Blame Society, or characters that you used before to Chad Vader?
Yeah, Hal Thompson was born in McCourt's in Session, which I talked about earlier, but we then worked him into Chad Vader. Baby Cookie was a character that I don't think existed, actually. I think she first appeared in Chad Vader.
Yeah.
A naked doll that makes Randy, the manager, go insane. Then there probably were some other Matt played a character who was a Texas billionaire who made an appearance.
Yeah. The janitor was he a pre-existing character, or the actor? Had you worked with him before?
We'd worked with Craig before. I knew Craig in college, actually.
Oh, okay.
And so Weird Jimmy was just created for Chad Vader.
Were you guys putting out like casting calls, or was it mostly just people that you already knew you're just like pulling in to get on?
It was mostly people we already knew, but we needed enough people that we did actually do some auditions partway through the series to get some more people.
But for the first season, it was mostly people that you'd worked with before?
Yeah, it was all Matt has friends in the actor community, and I had friends that I knew from either doing my show or from doing improv for many years in Madison.
Yeah, so you got a good crew. That's good. And then for, I guess, season 2, that would have been when were you getting your budget not from your pockets but from YouTube or t-shirt sales at that point?
Yeah, it was just coming from basically side jobs that we did for people, like while Chad, because the money that we were making from monetization was not much.
Yeah.
But we did some we did some sort of ad stuff for YouTube, branded stuff. It wasn't called that then, but that's what we did to make some of our money, and then we made some of it from just like side projects. We did a couple of corporate videos with Chad Vader, and other things like that. But yeah,
but I guess, would you say that Chad Vader has gotten you to the point now where, like, your job is you get to do what you really love. You get to make,
it was in 2007
and other series, and Hal Thompson. I think like it's sort of launched you to get to have this plethora of things that you get to make that you love.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was the way that we made a career out of it. Like in 2007, I quit my day job, and Matt quit his, I think, shortly thereafter, maybe before. And we started making videos full time on YouTube.
Was that the best feeling in the world? Because I can't wait for that.
It is. It is. It's really great.
I'll tell you what's really not fun. Running a restaurant in the middle of COVID. It's not a good time. And the second we can not do that anymore and not deal with people who are anti-maskers or don't want to get their temperature taken, that's going to be great.
That sounds absolutely torturous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's much more fun to make videos for the internet, just letting you know.
Oh, I know, because the other half of the week we're doing that. So if we could get paid to do that.
Yeah.
Because
that's the way to do it, though.
We worked on set, and I just completely destroyed my body, herniated a disc, broke my toe.
Oh, yeah.
Doing set deck and set building.
You have no life.
Yeah.
Thomas broke a nail doing camera work.
Yeah.
You're doing like, we were doing, well, at least I was doing non-union. So it was like 16-hour days, 14 days in a row on Hallmark movies. And you, I mean, it's sort of like, you make good
at
money,
least it
but
was
you
worth it
destroy-
then.
Yeah. At least it was worth it for the third movie where a small town girl goes back to her hometown and falls in love with a guy and stays in said hometown. And they're all Christian white.
Yeah, 16 hours a day, worth it.
Yeah, oh, totally worth it to have pain putting
Definitely
my socks
not
on.
soul sucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's like one of the big questions. It's like, what the hell are we doing wrong?
How do we be you?
How do we be you? Like, do we have to steal your life force, or like, what is it?
I mean,
what's the catch?
Yeah, just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Get better at it, and you got
But
the
how
right
do we-
idea. Where like you do, half your week is making videos. Like that's what I did. I worked 3 10-hour days at my horrible backbreaking job, and then the rest of the week I just devoted to making sketch comedy and short films. But I had like a try, or even like a 4-pronged approach to it, like irons in lots of different fires. I think that's a good way to do it. Like I was submitting stuff to film festivals, which got some traction. We were doing stuff for the internet. We were doing public access TV show that I submitted to the New York Television Festival, which was a successful venture. You don't want to spread yourself too thin, but like you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, that kind of thing. So yeah.
So what you're saying is we need to pay off some TikTok influencers.
Yeah, definitely.
We got to steal your look. Maybe it's a visual thing.
It is. Yep. You got to look like me.
I got some glasses. Oh, I can't get them. I'm not allowed. I got denied.
Okay. Well, grow your beard out more. Let your hair down, Thomas. We'll put some glasses on you.
Actually, what you got to do is go back and look like the 2006 me. That's
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
I don't recommend that, but that's how you do it.
Well, that's what we're gonna do right after this.
I mean, everyone's got to make sacrifices, I guess, right? For the dream.
For the dream.
Yeah. It's for the dream.
What are you doing right now that you're probably like most excited about, most proud of a future project?
Right now, man, I guess the thing I'm most excited about that I'm doing, and this has something to do with it being COVID times. I'm doing a show called Junkyard Joust.
Okay, so what is that?
I'm already intrigued.
Yeah, it's it's basically like my own sports competition that I run in my own office, where I run Hot Wheels down a track and they smash into each other.
Nice.
And I do commentary, so it's like a sporting event. Like, have you seen marble races?
I don't think
I have seen marble races.
Thomas.
Yeah, like the Gels marbles. It's kind of like that, but with
totally
Hot Wheels.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
It was dope, actually.
Yeah, it's really cool. So like I'll do like really dramatic commentary. You'll see the cars like hit each other in slow motion, and if they're sideways or upside down, they're eliminated.
Yeah.
But if they're right side up, they go on to the next round. Run them down again. You get some cars that have sloped backs. The cars are leaping off of them. It's just like sports, but
Doesn't
with
suck.
a little bit. Yeah.
What about and I'm just spitballing, feel free to tell me to fuck
Ketchup
off. But what if
packet.
you put like or like guns on the cars or something, like something
Oh
to make
yeah,
it
I
more
want to do a
exciting,
post-apocalypse.
like M80s.
And I've I've made a junk. It looks like a mini junkyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the whole set and everything, but I want to do a post-apocalypse one that looks like a Mad Max set with Hot Wheels, and they crash into each other.
Yeah.
They've got the blades and the guns, and
Exactly.
they're battling
And you
for
can
water
get some
or whatever.
explosives.
Yeah,
and stuff.
explosives. Yep, definitely.
And I think that'll send it through the roof.
We got to be on the lookout for that. If there's some youngin who's listening to this, it's like, wait, Darth Vader at a grocery store? That sounds awesome. Exploding Hot Wheels? How do I see these guys? How do they find you?
Well, the channel that Chad Vader is on is called Blame Society Films on YouTube, and that's where beer and board games is also available. Then Game Society Pimps, where we do the gaming. We made a series called Skyrim for Pimps, which has been very popular. In fact, if you guys haven't seen that, you should. I'll send you like one of the seasons.
Yeah, if you could, that'd be great.
It's got a very, I wouldn't say the same sensibility as Rick and Morty, but it's got, that there are some similarities between my style and Justin Roiland, I think.
Nice.
Just coincidentally, I've met him and he's awesome. But and then the other channel that I was just talking about is called Junkyard Joust. And
It's just going to be its own channel.
It's its own channel. Yeah.
Right on.
Okay, awesome.
Does Justin Roiland give good hugs?
I don't think I ever hugged him. I don't think.
But like just like the energy you get. From
Yeah, I don't recall him being into hugs. It doesn't seem like a Justin Roiland kind of thing.
No, like a,
fair.
ooh, give me a big embrace. Nothing like that.
Now that you say it like that, I could totally see him doing that, but I don't think he did. I think I just wanted him to.
Okay, well, next time you
think
run
we
into him, you
all
gotta be
wanted
like,
to.
you owe me a hug, motherfucker.
Yeah, I will.
Well, I gotta say,
That'll be a great way for him to never talk to me again, but it'll be worth it.
it'll be worth it.
For that hug.
You tape
Yeah.
the whole thing, and then he knocks you out, and then you say,
Yeah,
"Oh,
give me
the
the
French
ooh-wee
Styles
hug."
boys told me to do this," and then again, double promotion.
Yeah,
It's a companion piece to ours.
And
getting punched by internet celebrities should be the focus of your entertainment.
I think we just go on a tour,
I think that's
and we
good,
get everyone
yeah.
to punch us. And if we came to Milwaukee, would you give us a nice punch in the nose?
I could meet you over in Milwaukee.
Sorry,
He's from Madison. you idiot.
sorry, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's the state.
Yes,
We're from Canada. I'm so sorry.
it's okay.
You don't know this stuff.
It's okay.
Before
You're
we got in the
forgiven.
call, we were just roasting the names of states. Iowa? I owe you a better name.
What? Okay, how about this? We all meet in Milwaukee and we punch
Red Letter Media?
in
Yeah,
the face.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Really start
That's
that
a go.
feud
That's-
going because they already
You guys
don't
need
like
a
us.
feud.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys
Get
need to
a
add
bigger
the
feud
fuel
going,
to
and
the
then we'll have
fire.
them on the pod to talk about how much they hate you, and then we have you
Yeah.
both on the pod where you just beat the shit out of us.
that would be awesome.
You guys collectively beat
us?
out of us.
because we've been instigating.
Yeah.
So like we team up to beat the shit out of you, and then we become friends. Like we end up both lying on the ground, like
Exactly.
laughing.
You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, and you guys squash
That
the beef.
hate crime of beating those Canadians was pretty fun. We should get a beer.
Canadian beatdown.
All right. I gotta say,
That's the name of your next channel.
Canadian beatdown. You
All
and
right.
Harry Plinkett
Well-
beating the shit out of Canadians.
And on that note, I think it's time to say thank you so much for joining
Matt.
us.
Find him on
You
everything.
just called him Matt.
Oh,
You're so
jeez.
bad today.
Aaron.
All right, that cinches it. Canadian beatdowns.
It's coming now, dude.
It's
God
happening.
damn it. We'll edit that out. Thank you, Aaron.
No, I'm keeping
oh,
that
no.
in.
You're
It's
making me
done.
seem like a bad journalist.
We're not. Are we journalists?
No, we're not. Absolutely not. The opposite.
Anyway, thanks so much for listening, guys. If you want to see any of Aaron's stuff, you know where to find him. Blame Societies, Game Pimps. I forgot the name. I'm just as bad.
Game Society Pimps.
Game
no,
Society
there's a lot to
Pimps.
keep track of. Hey, I'm totally
Beer
I
and
forgive
board
you guys.
games, Chad Vader, Hot Wheels Destruction 3, Return of the King. You can find it all. If you want to find us, we're When We Were There show on Instagrams. We are When We Were There show on TikTok. Hopefully we have some TikToks by this point. Our Patreon is patreon.com/friendstyles.
YouTube.com/friendstyles.
Yeah, and Friendstyles are we Friendstyles Productions on YouTube?
I think if you search Friend Styles, you'll
You'll
find us.
find us. Okay, When We Were
Cool.
There.
You guys don't even know the name of your own YouTube
we
channel.
don't.
I
We're
like
that bad.
We're so
awesome.
bad.
When We Were There, a biased internet history, wherever you can find your podcast, if you're seeing this on a video. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Aaron. We really appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Glad to be
Cheers.
on. Thanks, guys.
Peace.